Maybe you feel like the best of your years have passed you by. You struggle with a changing body, with changing hormones, and you're simply not happy with how you feel or how you look. Maybe even no idea how to get back to feeling and looking good again. Let's stop all that. Are you ready to radiate self-confidence and reclaim the life you desire? I'm Michelle Phillips. I call myself equal parts celebrity makeup artist and beauty expert and motivational maven. Over the last 20 years, I've worked with business leaders, major celebrities, and CEOs. And through my book, my speaking tours, and many TV appearances, I've developed a powerful process for women that leads them to fall in love with themselves. And as a celebrity makeup artist and beauty expert, I work with you to reveal that uniquely radiant woman who's been hiding inside. It's that inner outer wow. Stick with me because this is where you're headed. Hi there, I'm Michelle Phillips, celebrity beauty and wellness expert, and welcome to From Hot Flash to Hot Damn. This show is about taking small, simple steps that create big changes, not just in how you look, but in how you feel. Steps that ease menopausal symptoms, bring back your radiance, and remind you that this can be one of the most fabulous times of your life. Today, we're going to talk about some of the choices that we make that actually speed up the aging process. And let's be real, in perimenopause and menopause, the choices that we make don't take years to show up. They show up pretty much overnight. All of a sudden, we've got dullness, deeper lines, wrinkles, sagging, breakouts, that feeling like your skin just won't bounce back. The good news, in this episode, I'm sharing ways to improve your skin, reverse visible signs of aging, and feed your body so your skin glows from the inside out. Plus, I'm going to introduce you to a powerful nighttime self-care ritual that I'll bet you never thought about before. And I also have a special guest who's going to help you learn how to set boundaries that stick. Yep, I'm talking about how to become a boundary setting badass. So are you ready? Let's dive in. When estrogen dips, our skin produces less oil and loses elasticity. So at this stage of life, we really must switch up our beauty routine because what used to work when we were younger doesn't cut it anymore. And if you have never truly invested in good skincare or paid attention to ingredients, now is the time to start doing so. It's super common for women to come to me and say, I have no idea where to begin. And I also have women that come to me and say that they really haven't done much for their skin at all, except for maybe a little moisturizer here and there. In fact, recently I had a client come to me for help because she's turning 60 and she said, oh my gosh, I've been using body moisturizer on my face for years. So there's no shame, okay? There is no shame at all. What I am going to do is give you ideas to get you started in the right direction to restore and renew your glow. But before we begin, I really want you to keep something in mind. When you're incorporating something new into your routine and you incorporate several new things, like several new ingredients or several new products, you've made a lot of changes at once. And so if you have a reaction, whether that be with your skin or, your body, you won't know where that reaction came from. Got it? So we're going to break this down into small steps, and then you can start incorporating little bits and pieces at a time and figure out what works for you and what doesn't. That's what this show is all about, educating you with professional advice so that you can make better decisions for yourself and stop spending money in areas that aren't serving you. I want you to make this your new mantra: gentle, hydrate, layer, and protect. So first up, gentle. Use a gentle cleanser. Look for a cream or an oil-based cleanser that leaves your skin soft, not squeaky. Most of these oil-based cleansers rinse off with water and they thoroughly clean your skin. Next, I want you to make sure you're using a hydrating serum. My favorite go-to is hyaluronic acid for this stage of life because hyaluronic acid is like a sponge. It pulls moisture into your skin. And one of my tricks is applying it to relatively damp skin so it has something to hold on to. Next up, use a rich moisturizer. Rich does not translate into heavy or greasy, okay? What I'm talking about is switch to a cream moisturizer that's rich in ingredients that improve your skin. Consider a cream with ceramides, peptides, and personally, my favorite must have ingredient is exosomes. Exosomes repair, restore, and renew your skin. They're incredible. If you want more information on these ingredients specifically, I have created a free download, a skincare guide that has the detailed description of all the ingredients I feel are essential for women over 40 or going through perimenopause and menopause. So please feel free to download. The link is in the comments section, or you will find it at michellephillips.com. Okay, so we're going to move on to SPF. Please do not skip this. Year round, you can get damage from UV rays. UV rays don't take a season off, and during menopause, our skin is thinner and more vulnerable. Sun damage is the number one cause of premature aging. Number one, besides smoking. So it's important to use an SPF every single day on your face. I am going to ask you not to use on your face the banana boat or whatever you buy for your body. I want you to invest in a good daytime SPF for the face specifically, and be sure to apply that to your neck and décolleté. Okay, a couple nights a week. This is just a little added bonus. I like to switch out my nighttime moisturizer for a nice face oil. It adds this extra layer of hydration and it feels amazing. And please don't forget your lips. Use a hydrating lip balm or an overnight lip mask before bed, because nothing makes you look older faster than cracked, dry lips. Switching up your skincare in midlife isn't optional, it's essential. Gentle, hydrate, layer, and protect. Your new mantra, right? So that wraps up our hot damn beauty segment, but here's the truth. Your glow does not come from products alone. What you put into your body shows up on your skin. It shows up in your energy level and even your mood. So that's why it's time for our hot health hacks. Simple, powerful nutrition and wellness shifts that will keep you looking and feeling fabulous from the inside out. So when our hormones shift, dehydration hits harder, and it shows up first on our skin. The good news, with just a few smart nutrition upgrades, you can support your skin and body from the inside out. And the best part, they're super simple, and I can show you from my very own kitchen. Omega-3s are really important for glowing skin and plumping up your skin. Omega-3 fatty acids rebuild your skin's lipid barrier, which is what keeps moisture in and your skin plump. Plus, they calm inflammation, which means less redness and fewer flare-ups. Now, vitamin D is really important for hormone and skin health. Most women over 40 are low in vitamin D. And low vitamin D can show up as dull skin, fatigue, and even mood swings. Vitamin C just isn't an antioxidant, it's the cofactor your body needs to make collagen. I add this powder to water once a day so my skin can stay firmer and brighter. Not to mention, it boosts your immune system. Try creatine for energy and support. Creatine supports muscle, energy, and brain health. And it also helps skin cells make energy, which keeps skin looking healthier and more resilient. I just add a scoop to my smoothie, and it's important to think about the nutrients you give your body every single day. These are simple shifts, super simple, but they add up. And when you combine them with good skincare and good self-care, you start to see and feel a whole new level of radiance. Okay, so we've covered beauty and wellness, but here's the thing. Without the right mindset, even the best beauty routines won't stick. So this is your hot confidence segment, where we shift how you think so you can shift how you feel and stand fully in your power. A big part of confidence is honoring yourself by taking good care of yourself. In other words, self-care, which can be created in ways that you may not even think of, such as your nighttime beauty routine. For years, I treated my nighttime routine like a chore. I'd stand in front of the mirror, rushing to wipe off my makeup. And honestly, many nights I was too exhausted or just skip it altogether. Bad, right? I came to this realization at some point that, those few minutes at the sink, it wasn't just about skincare. It was a really good time to like think about myself when I could just slow down, breathe, and I started thinking about it like washing the day off my face, both literally and emotionally. And when I started doing that, everything shifted for me. And I even started this routine a little bit earlier in the night. I didn't wait until right before bed. When you start seeing beauty this way as self care, instead of just another task, it feels like a nice relief. It also becomes a daily reminder that you matter, your well being matters, and that caring for your skin is really about caring for your whole self. Okay, now you know I love sharing my own professional tips and stories with you, but one of my favorite parts of this show is bringing in incredible people who not only inspire me, but I know will inspire you too. And today, our hot damn guest, I love this woman. Her name is Nancy Levin. She is a master at teaching women how to set boundaries that actually stick. Because, ladies, beauty isn't just about what we put on our skin, it's also about how we protect our energy. If we're constantly giving, saying yes when we want to really say no, or letting those energy suckers drain us, it shows up everywhere on our faces, in our bodies, and how we carry ourselves. Join me in welcoming my dear friend, Nancy Levin, to the show. Nancy, I am so thrilled to have you here today because this is a super important discussion.
It's so true. And as I was, sort of thinking this morning about meeting you today, I have such a clear image of you on stage in New York at the Javits Center.
Oh.
And you gave a talk and you came out all in black and you were wearing no makeup. And you remember, yeah. And you were
Yes.
like, and what did you say? You had 10 seconds to have a first impression or something like that.
Yeah, I said, yeah, because that's how I usually start my talk is that I stand there for 7 seconds and I say nothing. And I
Yep.
have no makeup on and I'm in a,
Yeah.
very plain outfit because
Yep.
people think here comes the beauty girl. She's going to come
Yeah.
out and talk about beauty.
All glam.
But
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm going to sit here for 7 seconds. And in those
Yeah.
7 seconds, um, people are judging me. They're checking me out. That's my first impression. And so I think a lot of people, that's what we do is we show up typically how others want to see us.
And that's the thing. And really, what we're doing is we're learning how to package ourselves to be palatable to everyone else around us. We need to come back together so that we are in alignment with ourselves. The way we do this is getting really clear on our boundaries. So, when I talk about boundaries, first I'll share that my definition of boundaries is simply the limits that I set around what I will or will not do, will or will not tolerate, and will or will not accept. My boundaries are what's okay with me, what's not okay with me, and how am I going to take care of myself? Because here's the kicker. If your boundaries are being crossed, you are the one crossing them. And if that is news to anyone listening, just breathe through this. Because again, what this does is it puts you in the power seat, it puts you in the driver's seat of your life. Because boundaries are not restrictive, they're not depriving, they're not constrictive. Boundaries are actually expansive. Knowing our boundaries, setting our limits, and honoring our limits is how we carefully choose and consciously curate the content of our own lives. And so, in order to even be able to set and hold boundaries, I have to come back to what is okay with me and what is not okay with me. Where in my life am I currently tolerating the intolerable? Where am I accepting the unacceptable instead of all of the external people pleasing, peacekeeping, and not rocking the boat and fearing conflict?
Ugh. I just wanted to stand up and cheer like 5 times during that lesson that you just shared. When I was training to be a life coach, which was a very long process and a process that in order to become a really good coach, I needed to do the work within for me. And then
Same.
I have a master coach that I work with because I always feel like every good coach has a coach, right?
Every coach needs a coach.
Oh yeah, because you got to
Yep.
take, we it's and Louise Hay used to always say this is a lifelong process. It's not a one
Yeah.
and done. You do the work and it's over. But I remember my coach saying to me when I had gone into the next relationship that was just the same person in a different body
Yeah.
that was really not healthy at all for me. And I said to her, I need to change whatever's going on with me that is
Right.
attracting that. And
Yep.
she said, welcome to the first steps of breaking the cycle. Because this was a
Yep.
cycle that not only that I had, but my mother had, and my mother's mother. And so she said to me, what are the things that you're really seeking in a relationship? And I said, I want someone that's really trustworthy. I want someone empathetic. And I went on down the list and then I said, I want someone who loves me unconditionally. And she said, do you love yourself unconditionally? Do
Right.
you trust
Right.
yourself?
Right.
Do you have empathy for yourself? And I was like, that would be a no. If you think about it, I beat myself up. At the time, I was doing all of these things that were self-sabotaging belief systems that were very negative about myself. And so I started my journey of making my shift by waking up every single day and saying, what does Michelle need today?
Exactly.
And taking care of myself as if I would my own children, because I would take care of them, if they were hurting, if they were going through a difficult time. I wasn't giving myself that same love and support. And once I did, everything shifted, and I no longer allowed anybody in my
That's right.
life, I don't care what kind of relationship, no one in my life that was going to talk down to me or treat me in a way that wasn't respectful or kind or loving.
A few things I'll add here because,
Mhm.
with you saying waking up and like, what does Michelle need today? Absolutely. And this is why I love saying I am the most selfish woman in the world
Oh, I love that.
because we've put selfish, we have disowned selfish to such a degree, and we have put selfless on a pedestal. And in selfless, in the word right there, less self, we disappear. And the truth is, we are both. We are selfish and selfless, and there's a time and a place for each one. But if we keep disowning selfish, we are actually keeping ourselves from harnessing a tremendously potent power that exists within us. And so I like to say that I think selfish, self care, and self love are three sisters whose job it is to support us in honoring ourselves.
Yes.
And so from there, then we can begin to ask ourselves a few questions that will help us get clear on our boundaries and return to bring the antenna back to me. What do I need? What do I think? What do I feel? What do I want? Instead of the antenna being outward. To even get clear on our boundaries, we need to put attention on ourselves to really get clear on what it is that we want. And this can be really unfamiliar, especially for women. And then we go into that, well, isn't that selfish? And so the invitation here is to ask yourself, are you willing to give yourself permission to consider your own needs at least as much as you're considering the needs of everyone else around you? At least as much. That's the baseline. Then we need to go to the place, are you willing to give yourself permission to consider your own needs more than you're considering the needs of others. And then the real boundary ninja move here is, are you willing to give yourself permission to consider your needs first
Yeah.
before you even consider the needs of others? And nowhere in here did I say don't consider the needs of others.
Right.
So, but it's a both and, it's not an either or. A sort of illustration of this that I often share because I first sort of shared this as a metaphor until I learned for how many women this is actually real life. So we set a table with fine china and silver and crystal, and we serve a big juicy steak or big juicy tofu. And we are in the kitchen in the dark eating the scraps and crumbs over the sink.
Mm, you gave me the chills,
Right? And we do
right?
it over and over again. We do this literally and we do it metaphorically.
Right.
It is time to take our seat at the head of the table of our lives.
Yes.
Period. End.
And not be afraid. So
Right.
it's the fear factor that comes into play to where it's all about, I'm afraid, bottom line, to really step into my power, speak my truth, be who I am, create boundaries and say, no, this isn't acceptable, or
Yep.
I adore you and I love you, but I am not able to do this today to help you. Putting your needs first because we're afraid of rejection, what people will think of us, that they won't want to be around us anymore. How do you help people
Yeah.
get through that hump?
Exactly. So here's the deal. If you are fearing external judgment and criticism, the truth of the matter is you are living in judgment and criticism of yourself. When I am clear and clean and in right relationship with myself and all parts of me, when I am living in alignment with my wholeness and my truth, I have no Velcro for someone else's judgment or criticism to stick.
That's so good. That is so good. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. I mean, I keep getting goosebumps, because I love how you are so specific in sharing this message to make it just so clear and resonate with us, right? A huge thank you to my hot damn guest, Miss Nancy Levin, for joining us today. And thank you for spending this time with me. I'm so grateful you're here. And don't forget, head over to my website, michellephillips.com, where you're going to find lots of free downloads and resources to support you through menopause and beyond. That is it for this episode of From Hot Flash to Hot Damn. Remember, confidence is the new makeup. Self-love is the new ultimate beauty secret. And these beauty tips, they're just icing on the cake to help you shine even brighter.